Tell me about yourself. My name is Jessica Bonilla. I am an administrative assistant. Currently, I work at the Critical Infrastructure Division for the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. I am a detail-oriented, a fast learner, and a driven communicator. I'm actually a born communicator. Usually, I am a lot more calm, but I'm nervous. So right now, I complete all of my tasks. I'm very tasked. I have good time management. I am skilled in Microsoft, Excel, Word. I use my skills to do the best I can at my job and whatever that is. Right now, like I said, I'm an admin. So I follow up. I do very well with my tasks. I am driven. I'm a fast learner. I'm a good communicator. And everything that's given to me is done before or on deadline. So I do special assignments. I do very well. So I am right now, as I'm doing the admin position for the Critical Infrastructure Division, I am also in school. I am with Southern New Hampshire University as getting my associates as a student, and then I will be getting my bachelor's in communications. I do some volunteer work, and I am very passionate about my community. I live in Austin, Texas, so I'm very passionate about my community, and I want to give back to my community. Basically, I'm very passionate about the environment I grew up in, and I had a lot of mentors. So I'm driven by that and by resources. I love it. So I am somebody who gets the job done, and I am dependable and efficient and thorough. And I am sure I'm rambling, but I'm using my skills that I'm learning from school and from my past experiences to get me where I need to go in my growth and my career. So that is who I am, Jessica Bonilla. Tell me about your past work experience. So in my work experience, I was mainly doing retail, some restaurants. I opened a few actually in Austin, Texas. I was a hostess at the time, and I was doing a lot of hostess work, serving, running food. Basically, when I'm a part of a team, I kind of excel in the team. If it's a good environment, I thrive. That's just how I'm built. I think everybody is, but for me, I know that my skills are heightened when I'm around people who benefit that. So I do well there. And then so from the fast food retail, I went on to doing some volunteer work for the state. My mom actually works for the state. She's been with the state for 10 years. So also after that, I did some volunteer work for some community based things, and then I got the job as an admin, which then I started to go to school, which I'm halfway through with my associate's degree, and then from here I want to do some more. Gain more knowledge in the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. So that is my work experience as of right now. And I am looking forward to continuing that in a second. And so, in my job duties now for the Critical Infrastructure Division, I forgot to say that from doing volunteer work and doing volunteer work and for dishes, I also worked for DPS for a little while. I worked for the MSB program, which is the driver responsibility program. It was, well, now it's not a driver responsibility program anymore, but now we used to tell people and inform them on like payment plans and what they can do to get their license unsuspended, or keep it from being suspended, or get that lift off. So I would relay the message to the community. So I'm a good communicator in that way. I diffuse a lot of situations that can be kind of blown up, because it kind of was, a lot of people were upset about that situation. So anyways, and then that's when I got my job as an admin too for CID, which right now in my role as an admin too at CID, like I said, critical infrastructure division, I do the travel requests for the EMST's Tier 2 reporting chemical reporting team, the radioactive materials and compliance team, the Homeland Security coordinators, and of course the direct reports, which would be Kelly, Melinda. They don't really travel much, but so I do the travel vouchers and the travel requests. Travel vouchers are basically their receipts. I just put it into the system and make sure they're getting reimbursed. I do the I draft letters, I mail them out, I make sure that everything's correct and is agency. We have agency letterheads and stuff. Everything's correct on the letter before it gets sent out. And usually, when I get letters that day, they get sent out that day. I also just picked up doing public information requests for Homeland Security, although I do know how to do dam safety as well. So I do those, but right now I'm just tasked with Homeland Security, which is a little bit more of a process than dam safety. Both team has a process, and a lot of people, as I know as an admin, each section manager or coworker you work with, they have a different way of doing things. So part of my job is kind of understanding what they're comfortable with and how they would like their job done correct. So, or how they would like their assignment done correct or in their way correct. So, I do that as well. I manage my time very well. I use my calendars. I use my Outlook calendar. I schedule conferences for any team member that asks. I also am in charge of all of the critical infrastructure's vehicles. So I do the fleet. It's called the fleet. I use the Texas Fleet System to record and track all of the vehicles in and out of CID. I also am in charge of the assets. So every quarter we get an asset verification. I make sure to track everybody down. Not the funnest for them, but I have to do my job. So I make sure that they have their assets still intact. If they don't, I communicate with IR. So I keep all of the receipts for their, if they've transferred computers or if they have, a projector or if they, so I just kind of track all of the assets going in and out of CID. So that's what I do now. I do BAMs, perks, the CID inventory on top of the letters. And, we also have like some activities, events. So we do birthdays every month. The first Thursday, we all bring breakfast or something to pitch in. It's kind of like a potluck. We have that. I'm in charge of that. I'm also in charge of Employee of the Quarter. I do Employee of the Quarter as well. I send out the email. I make the certificate. I make sure the person is getting their 8 hours of leave. What else do I do? And so usually I track all of these things, like I said, with my calendar, my portable and my wall calendar. And that's all I do for that. So describe a time when you worked well on a team. Okay. Well, Tier 2 chemical reporting team, they just launched this last season, their new online core data form. So you would have to go online and fill it out. it was a big test run. So we all had to work together as a team. And I first started to get the voicemails and record the voicemails, call people back, relay the messages, give it to the team, stuff like that. But it became a little bit bigger than me. So we all had to pitch in, all of the admins. Some of the EMST guys helped. Of course, tier 2 was just doing so much. So they were working overtime. They were doing a lot. But that was a time where we worked well on a team together. And that was a great team effort. We got it done. And eventually it kind of slowed down. And so this year I'm looking forward to see what happens. So we'll see then. And then I apologize. Give me one moment. Tell me about a time when you go above and beyond the Call of Duty. So we did recently have one of the admins needed some time to take leave for medical reasons. And she ended up taking off 3 months before she resigned completely. So that was a time when she left. During that time period, one of the other admins, so there's 3 of us, one of the other admins decided that she wanted to resign as well. And she did. So she put in her notice. And so it was just me and my work lead. That was a time when I was under pressure and things kind of fell on me. I took responsibility, of course. So I learned the admin 4 position, which was the perks that I was speaking about earlier. I learned, well, really, everything else I really already knew, but the perks it's a big responsibility. It is the public reaching out to you to find out if you can give them information that's basically confidential. So it was a lot to do. But we got it done, and it really went well. And then we hired somebody else, and so now it's a little bit easier for us. So that was a time when I was called, without having to really discuss it. We did what we had to do, and it is what it is, and it worked out fine. So I mean, that was a good thing. But yeah, that was a time when I had to go beyond my own position and kind of assist in other areas. So that was the time for that. And then tell me about a time you worked efficiently under pressure. That was the time when I was efficiently under pressure. We had a time when we had a perk fall through. And for me, I'm a fast walker, so I don't believe in like walking slow in the office. I kind of like to get things done now, So if I can go to somebody's office and say, hey, do you have so and so or this document or that document, that's what I do if they're not busy, of course. So that's a time when we worked under pressure, was the tier 2 time, and was when we didn't have 2 admins. So it was a lot of pressure. But honestly, for me, when pressure hits me, my mind clicks and I don't think, I just do. And it is a skill for me because I don't crack, I don't break under pressure. I kind of get my job done, and I do what I'm supposed to do, and that's what it is. So a time, or an example of a time when you showed initiative. So to me, initiative to me is like an everyday thing. I live and breathe that way because that was instilled in me when I was a child. And my mother always told me, if something needs to be done, then just do it. Don't talk about it. Don't, give it to the next person. Just do what you have to do. And so I always take initiative, whether it's work, personal, home. I make sure that if it needs to get done, then just do it. And so to me, that's something that I do 100%, whether it's the smallest things, like the shredder is overfilled and a lot of people don't like to deal with that. I pick up the paper off the floor because we're a team and we represent each other. And that's an example of us. So to me, we're little worker bees making honey, and if somebody is not doing we can't make honey the right way. So showing initiative is all the small things that help the important things run smooth. So making sure a letter goes out correctly, informs the person of the dam, informs the customer what they need to do. If that's not understood in the letter, then we were wrong. And so taking an initiative to me is something that's very important in an admin, and it's important in everyday life, I think. But showing initiative, yes, I show initiative every day that I wake up and I go to work. I make sure that I'm doing the best I can. Is there anything else you would like to know about us to know about you? I would like you to know that in this interview, I am not saying anything that I cannot do for you, that I cannot give in action. I am somebody who is honest, and I'm somebody who is dependable. And I'm never going to tell you I can do something if I can't. I'm never going to tell you that I am this amazing person, and I'm not. So what I'm giving to you in this interview is full transparency. And that's what you will get from me every single day, is full transparency and honesty and dependability and an efficient person who will make sure that the job is done. And if I have questions, I will ask, so that is something you need to know, that I'm passionate about contributing to any team that I'm a part of. And I believe that I'm an asset 100% because I 100% believe in myself. Do you have any questions for us? Yes, I do. Actually, what would you consider the most challenging part of this position? That's what I want to know. Because if I can do that, and I know that this time, then I can do the rest. Because I would rather do the tough things first. So that is the end of my interview. Thank you so much for watching.